There's another world premiere from Marvel Games coming your way right now. I'd like to welcome to the stage Niantic Executive Producer Phil Hong and Vice President and Creative Director at Marvel Games, Bill Rosemann, to give us more details about Marvel World of Heroes.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming to this panel. We appreciate it.
Guys, this game is something that we haven't seen before, right? We get to step into the shoes and become our own Marvel hero. What does that mean?
Marvel World of Heroes is all about delivering on that fantasy of becoming a Marvel superhero in the real world. And I think we've all had that at some moment in time. Whether you came out of a Marvel movie, or you played a Marvel game, or better yet, read a Marvel comic book, and you kind of wondered to yourself, like kept that in your psyche, like, maybe I've got superpowers. Like,
I mean, how many times have you tried to do the flip thing, right? Or like you try to get yourself bit by a spider.
There's that too, for sure. I mean, anyone who's done the web shooting, gestures, with their hands, like while wearing their Spider-Man PJs as a kid and want to deliver on that fantasy. Although, Bill, I think you still wear your Spider-Man PJs.
I'm wearing my bottoms right now under my jeans, so
Heck yeah.
how I roll.
Yeah, that's how you roll. So, I mean, it's really all about that. It's really delivering that fantasy. Yeah.
Now, I look at the trailer and I saw the different superpowers that people had, right? You saw like the Cyclops beam, you saw somebody carrying Thor's hammer. What are some ways in which people are going to be able to use superpowers in this game?
Yeah, I mean, what's funny is when you create your avatar, and I was testing it, I was at home, and I made it, and then I showed my son, he's like, Papa, that's you, but you're a superhero. I'm like, yes. I said, now I'm going to go out on an adventure. And so as you go, I walked outside and hey, there's Black Widow, and there's a story. We're going to team like the king. We're going to fight the Kingpin. What? So then me as my hero teamed with Black Widow, and we took on the Kingpin. And as you play the game, it will explain to you how you act, how you fight, and the choices you make then lead to the powers that you might have.
That's exactly right. So it starts with an avatar creator that we're super proud of. Awesome. It's a total diversity of skin tones and body shapes and outfits that you can start with. But it's really about teaming up with Marvel heroes, progressing, growing your power set, and customizing your superhero to get you into that flavor of superhero that you want to be.
You mentioned teaming up with Marvel heroes. What does that look like, right? Am I hanging out with like Wolverine? Am I hanging out with villains? Like, what is the scope of that?
Well, there's a big, cast of characters that will be in the launch, and we look, as you said, we look across because we're thinking, as you said, about like what fans are these from? We're like, this is for everybody. You can be, maybe you're just a casual fan, maybe you're just a Niantic fan and you're totally new to Marvel and you want to check this out, or maybe you've seen all the movies, or maybe you've, like me, been reading comics since you were 6. No matter who you are, the game and the story is made so that it's very accessible. So we wanted to do enough sampling that you can not only find your favorite character, but we always say, can we introduce the next generation to their next favorite hero that they just haven't met yet?
I also think it's important to point out that at Niantic, our OS is planet Earth, like literally. And what's really important for us is to make sure that location matters, and where you are in your day we're going to serve you up contextual content that's relevant for you. For example, let's say you're going into shopping and you're at a shopping mall. Maybe there's a secret Hydra base that you have to find, and when it's there and you got to find it, you got to infiltrate it, you got to clear it out, and then.
It sounds awesome.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. It just makes doing errands a lot more fun.
Yeah, exactly.
When I was a kid, in classic Nick Fury comics, there was this barber shop that he would go to, and he would sit in the chair and pull the lever, and the barber chair would go down underground to a secret SHIELD headquarters. So like that's the fantasy, like that's my local barbershop. I wonder if there's a SHIELD base underneath it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that. I love the idea that I can, do groceries and all of a sudden, I look across the way and Loki's just chilling. I'm like, well, I got to beat him up. I got to beat him up. I got to take out Loki. He's doing nefarious things out there. Now, before, I mentioned the different pockets of Marvel fans. Again, Marvel fans are diverse and varied in terms of what their connection to Marvel is. How do you go about connecting to anyone, no matter what kind of Marvel fan you are?
Well, I think it comes down to storytelling, right? And that's really at the heart of everything that Marvel does is storytelling and story. And in the games, Niantic takes it. You're very good at introducing you to the characters. So again, if you are very familiar with the characters, you'll recognize them, they'll be introduced, there'll be dialogue. If you don't know who they are, we really think about how do we communicate this, if you've never seen this character before, how do we get across who they are, what their powers are, what's their personality, what's their relation to the rest of the Marvel world. So we're thinking about all of that when we're thinking about the dialogue and what they're saying to you and the missions you're getting. So it's very self-explanatory.
But I think we also rely on the community. Because I think that's what we've seen a lot in, in our games, is people are playing these games together, and oftentimes it's like, oh, hey, did you know about so-and-so? Right. Blah, blah, blah. And then, so that's the way that happens. That's the magic of our games, and I think that's why we're out here today, to really tell you all first about this game, because we know you're gonna be the ones that are gonna tell your friends about, like, hey, so-and-so, blah, 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 and get out there and be like our first wave of people who are really gonna lean into this. I think we all wanna get outside more, Right. And it's a real message I can get behind, and also, the other message that I can really embracing and we're taking on as a team is we're all heroes. So that's really a mantra for us, and I think that's something that I'm really excited about putting out there.
Well, Marvel World of Heroes, it sounds amazing. Where can we go to get more information?
I'm glad you asked. MarvelWorldOfHeroes.com. You could also give us a follow on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, @MarvelWorldGame.
We'd like to thank all of our panelists and you in the audience joining us here today. Don't forget,